Hi, I'm Mike from Detect Alarms, and today I'd like to introduce you to our wired intruder or driveway alarm. A very simple basic alarm that can be wired up by anyone with a bit of DIY skill. What you receive is a control box which will be mounted in a house or inside a building. A siren and strobe, which is for outdoor mounting on a wall. This would be mounted outdoors on a wall, and a pair of dual infrared beams. Now these beams would be mounted on posts or fence posts, gate posts, and they can be mounted up to 100 meters apart. They're mounted facing each other, and anything passing between those beams would set this driveway alarm off. So very simple alarm, very simple to wire up. It's operated by two key fobs. Press the button once you're armed, press the button once you're disarmed, press it again. It comes with two key fobs. You can add more key fobs, and you can also add more of the beams as well. If you had a perimeter, you might want a driveway protected. You might want the whole perimeter of the house protected down each side of the gardens, or an office or factory. There's many uses for these. As I say, the beams are infrared beams, they're dual beams. So what you have in here, there are two beams that are emitted from this two infrared beams emitted out. Now the idea of having two beams is less likely to have false alarms with birds or something like that flying across. If it was a single beam and a bird flew across, it would set the thing off. But with dual beams, you're unlikely to get problems. Now a lot of wired or wireless driveway alarms use PIRs for a detector. Now outdoor PIRs aren't that brilliant because it will pick up over quite an area, birds, foxes, cats, badgers, that sort of thing, whereas these send out two beams between each beam, infrared beams, and they both have to be broken at the same time. These beams can be mounted above the height of foxes, cats, dogs, etc., so you're unlikely to get false alarms. They're wall mounted or post mounted. You get a couple of stainless steel brackets which mount them off the wall, so you can get the wires behind. There's a couple of stainless steel saddles if you want to put them onto a post, and a packet of screws for screwing them all together. Dead simple to screw to anything: walls, posts, fence posts, etc. Now I'll just show you the control box. I've undone the lid here, make it simple. Now what we've done, we've wired the control box to the siren just to demonstrate that. I haven't wired to the beams, otherwise we'll get tangled up with wires here. Very simple to wire up. It all works off 12 volts, so you're not likely to get a main shock. You get a 12 volt adapter which plugs into a main socket, and that plugs into the base of the control box. Now, how easy is it to wire up? Well, it's dead simple. The instructions come with it, and in the box here you've got a row of 7 wired terminals. On the bottom of the terminal is a number: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How do you wire it up? How easy it is? Well, you take a 3-core cable from the control box to the beams, and that gives power from the control box to both beams. They both have to be wired to power, and one wire comes back to terminal 3, which is a trigger wire. So as soon as the beams are triggered, it triggers the control box. Now the siren, again, that's a 3-core wire. What I mean is 3-core, you get a piece of wire with 3 wires inside it, 3-core. Now we don't supply the wire because we don't know how far you're going to be from the control box to the beams or from the control box to the siren, but you can buy 3-core wire very cheaply from DIY stores. You can buy a whole reel, or you can buy it cut to length, screw fix, tool station, that sort of thing. Only needs to be very small 3-core cable, doesn't need to be big at all. Now the Siren, inside the Siren there's 3 terminal blocks, and these are numbered 5, 6, 7. So you literally wire number 5 to number 5 in the control box, number 6 in the control box, number 7 to number 7. And the same with the beams. We look inside the beams. I've undone the cover. There's one small screw at the bottom. You have terminals in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All you need to do is connect one in the control box to one on the beam. That all goes to one. That also goes to one on the other beam. 2 goes to number 2. 3 to 3. It's as simple as that. So very easy to connect up. Both beams need power, and you would normally take a wire from 1, 2, 3 in the control box out to both beams, so you go into one beam and then link to the other beam. But if that's difficult, it's only the receiver beam which needs to be connected to the control box. That's the one that sends the trigger back. The transmitter beam only needs power. So if you do have power near the transmitter beam, we can supply another 12-volt adapter and a junction box just to power the transmitter beam, which makes it a lot easier for wiring. It's up to you. How does it work? Very simple. I've plugged it in. What I'll do is I've got a small piece of wire I've bared at each end here, and what I'll do is I'll just short out the box to demonstrate what happens when the beams are triggered. So we've turned the box on. There's a small light in here. The red light on the bottom shows it's not armed yet, but in this state, with a toggle switch up on the side, this control box will now work as a simple driveway alarm. Very simple one. So if the postman or anybody like that walks up the drive now, the internal buzzer will sound. That's all that will sound, and it will just sound briefly. So if you short it out now, that's what will happen when someone walks past or drives past the beam. You'll just get that short buzz. Now, to arm the control box, you take a key fob, one of the key fobs. I say there's 2 key fobs that come with the kit, but you can add more. Just press the button once. Now what happens is the red light has come on the bottom of the control box to show it's armed, and also there's a small display which at the moment is showing 002. What that means now is if we trigger it again, the buzzer will now sound for 2 seconds and then reset itself. So if I just demonstrate that now. And what happens there is the display starts at 2 seconds, counts down to 1, then to 0, then resets. So you don't need to rearm it, because what happens now, if I press it again, it will sound again for 2 seconds. You'll notice the siren and strobe light didn't go off then. That's because the toggle switch is up. If I put the toggle switch down now, that means anyone passing the beams, you're in intruder alarm mode now. So you could set this up at night, say, so that anyone passing the beams now will set the siren and strobe light off. That will also sound for 2 seconds. I'll just demonstrate that now and deafen myself. When you arm the system, the red light also comes on the siren. If I arm, disarm, arm, disarm. This gives you an outdoor indication that the alarm is activated, it is armed. If it's disarmed, you know you can just wander through the beams and you get a short beep. If it's armed and the toggle switch is down, you'll know the siren will go. I'll just demonstrate that now and deafen myself just to give you an idea. you'll hear the siren go and you'll see the strobe light flash. So I'll just try that. Yeah, that's definitely. So if I turn the siren off now, because I don't want to do that again, how do you set the timer? What can you set the timer on? Well, that can be set anything up to 999 seconds. So once it's triggered, you can have the siren or the buzzer or both sounding for 999 seconds. And I'll just show you how we do that. There's two little buttons on this timer circuit, one on the left, one on the right. If I was to press the left hand one once, you'll notice the left hand display 0 now is flashing. I can now alter that using the right hand button. If I press the button once on the right hand side now, it goes to 102. Press it again, 202, 302, 402. If I want to leave it at 402, I'll just press the left hand button once again. Now we're on the middle display flashing. I want to leave that as 0, so I'll just press the left hand button again. Number 2 is flashing on the right hand side. Press that again. I'm now set for 402. We can alter that again now. Say I want to set it for 32 seconds. I've got to remove that 4 now back to 0. So I've pressed the left hand button again. I go to 5, I go to 6, I go to 7, I go to 8, I go to 9, I go to 0. Now I want to go to the next one, and I can press that and alter that to 22. If I want to stay at 22, press the left hand button again, press the left hand button again, and we stay at 22. You'll notice there's a dot as well at the side of the 2 there on the very right hand side. That's a decimal point. We are now set for 22 seconds. If I press the left hand button once now, that dot's moved to between the 2's. That now is set for 2.2 seconds, 0.22 seconds. If I press it again, the dot disappears. The buzzer won't work now. So you always want that dot on the right hand side. So if it's disappeared, just keep pressing the right hand button until it comes back again. So we're now back on 22 seconds rather than 2.2. Very simple alarm. We've made them so they're fully repairable. The alarm has a 2-year guarantee. If after 2 years anything becomes faulty in this control box, get it back to us, and at the moment, if we need to repair it, it will be sent back to you, and the charge would be £12 only. Whatever needs to be repaired in this control box would be only £12. We've only ever had one that's come back in all the years we've been selling it. So touch wood, we've sold plenty of these, and they're very reliable. And I think that's about it really. I'll disarm that, everything goes off. When I come back on, it saves the memory at 22 seconds. Very simple and very basic alarm for DIY installation. Thank you for viewing.